right, everyone, today we're going to study reported speech, sometimes called indirect speech. This is a very important grammar point because we use it all the time when we want to tell another person what somebody said. For example, when we talk about conversations with friends, family members, or partners, we often report what they told us instead of repeating their exact words. Let's begin with the difference between direct speech and reported speech. In direct speech, we repeat the exact words of the speaker, usually inside quotation marks. For example, "I love romantic films," she said. In reported speech, we explain the idea without using the exact words. So we say, "She said that she loved romantic films." Notice that the quotation marks disappear and the sentence structure changes. One of the most important things in reported speech is something called backshift. This means that the tense usually moves one step back into the past. This happens because the reporting verb, like said or told, is often in the past. For example, if somebody says, "I am tired," in reported speech we say, "He said that he was tired." The present simple changes to past simple. The same thing happens with other tenses. If someone says, "We travel a lot," it becomes, "They said they traveled a lot." If a person says, "I'm studying for my exams," we report it as, "She said she was studying for her exams." So the present continuous changes to past continuous. Present perfect also changes. For example, "We've celebrated our anniversary" becomes, "They said they had celebrated their anniversary." And if someone says, "I've been waiting for hours," we say, "He said he had been waiting for hours." So the tense moves one step further into the past. Past tenses can also change. For example, "I met my girlfriend last year" becomes, "He said he had met his girlfriend the year before." Notice that the past simple changes to past perfect. Also, modal verbs change. Can usually becomes could and will becomes would. For example, "I will call you tomorrow" changes to, "She said she would call me the next day." Now let's talk about the reporting verbs say and tell, because students often confuse them. With say, we usually do not include the person who listens immediately after the verb. We say, "He said that he was getting married," or "She said she was happy." We can use that, but it is optional. With tell, we must include the person who receives the information. For example, "She told me that she was engaged," or "They told us they were getting divorced." So remember, say something, but tell someone something. Another important change in reported speech involves pronouns. Pronouns often change because the speaker changes. For example, "I love my family," said Mia, becomes, "Mia said that she loved her family." The pronoun changes from I to she, and my changes to her. However, if you are reporting your own words, the pronouns may stay the same. For example, "I'm planning my wedding," I said, becomes, "I said that I was planning my wedding." In this case, the speaker and the reporter are the same person. We also need to change time expressions and sometimes place expressions. For example, today usually becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the next day, and yesterday becomes the day before. So if somebody says, "I'm meeting my boyfriend tomorrow," we report it as, "She said she was meeting her boyfriend the next day." Let's look at one more example connected to relationships. Imagine a friend says, "We celebrated our wedding anniversary last week." In reported speech, you would say, "They told me they had celebrated their wedding anniversary the week before." Notice the tense change and also the time expression change. So, to finish, remember that reported speech is used to explain what another person said without repeating the exact words. Usually, the tense moves one step back. Pronouns and time expressions often change, and we commonly use the verbs say and tell. With practice, This structure will become much easier and more natural for you.